What it is, yo? We are back with another Top 5 exclusive here on the MacGuffin Podcast. I am Allen.
I am Brandi.
And today on our Top 5, we will be counting down our Top 5 favorite sci-fi films. Did you have anything to say about sci-fi films?
I gotta say, like, when we decided to do this one, I knew instantly what my number one would be, and then the rest of it was kind of like there were just so many good options.
There is a ton.
That honestly, like, I could have picked a completely different 4 movies than what I have on here and been satisfied with it.
Yeah.
Like, there's just there's a lot of stuff out there that's really fun for sci-fi.
Yep.
So.
All right. So let's get started. I think I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
My number 5 pick is from 1985. I think John's gonna like this pick. It is Back to the Future. Directed by Robert Zemeckis, written by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale. I mean, where do you start? You got Marty McFly, you got Doc Brown, you have the DeLorean, you have the flux capacitor,
There's honestly nothing that's not awesome in this movie.
There really is nothing, not awesome. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's my favorite of the trilogy, but the trilogy is great all around.
Yeah, I think it's pretty
obviously
great.
I mean, probably the quintessential time travel movie of all time. Just a lot of fun, great characters, great dialogue. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Way to go.
I don't think you need to say anything else.
All right, I'll stop talking.
All right. My number 5 is film from 1998, and that is Dark City, which is, I mean, I think that it's become a little bit more well-known of a movie. I don't know if it was necessarily super popular when it first came out, but I've liked it since then. I've watched it a bunch of times. I think it's got really some great rewatch value for a movie that has a little bit of a twist ending kind of thing going on. Great performances, Kiefer Sutherland, Jennifer Connelly, is it Rufus Sewell?
Rufus Sewell? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a in your dreams kind of weird atmospheric
it's like,
movie.
What's reality? What's
kind
fake?
I mean, if you haven't seen it, I don't really want to say too much. And if you have seen it, then you know why it's awesome. So
absolutely, yeah. I do have something to say about it, but I'm gonna hold off until a little later down the line. Yes. So let's go ahead and move on to my number 4. My number 4 pick is actually a silent film. It's from 1927, and it is Metropolis.
Nice.
I recently saw the quote-unquote completed version of this not too long ago.
Did you see it on DVD, or did you see it when they played it at SIF Cinema?
Unfortunately, I missed it at SIF.
You should have seen it with the live music.
How was it?
It was so cool with the music.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great film already. I mean, but with the orchestra, must have been awesome. Just it's so visionary. You know, you have the utopia above the ground, and then this whole industrial world underneath, and then you have that one character that wants to change everything and free all the slaves and everything like that. It really questions what it means to be human. It's such an influential film. I don't really know if people really understand how influential it is. I mean, even movies that are made today. How influential
almost every movie like that Fritz Lang made was. Like, that dude created things that people just coasted on for... Still are. Still
to this day, yeah.
It's a great pick. All right, my number 4, well, since your number 5 was going to make John happy, my number 4 will make Spencer happy. It's a movie from last year, and that is Inception. Which, I think I caught some shit for not including this on my top 10. I did like it a lot, but I think of it as just a really fun sci-fi movie.
It's awesome.
I know
this was
you really
probably my number 1 almost all the way up through 2010. I mean, it's such a great movie. It's so unique and a visionary again. It's original. I mean, God, I don't even know where to begin. You can watch that movie over and over again, and there's little minute details about the story and what's real and what's a dream. And I'm going to slow down because I'm talking too fast. It's just, I don't know. It's, if you haven't seen it, what's wrong with you, pretty much? Okay, calm down.
Okay,
let's calm down.
Even though that was my pick, I think you said all there was to say about it.
It was on my top 10, so I love that movie. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. All right, let's move on to my number 3. My number 3 is pretty much an easy pick when it comes to sci-fi films. It's from 1977, directed by George Lucas, and it is Star Wars.
I'm gonna say that when I was making this list, I decided not to include Star Wars because it was kind of like, am I gonna include the whole trilogy and cheat? Am I just gonna do the first one, even though like really I go back to the other ones way more? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean,
Obviously
it's pretty
only
much
talking
general.
about the original trilogy.
It's pretty much a general consensus that Empire Strikes Back is the best one of all of the Star Wars films. But Empire would not have existed without A New Hope. Just George Lucas, I feel like, really knocked it out of the park with this story. It's a classic story about a kid who like goes off on this great adventure to save a princess. It really could have been told like, you know, in the, I guess, the Middle Age, you know, right? Like with knights and everything and.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a quest story, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it would have been higher, but you know, the prequels had to bring it down and taint it a little bit. But that's story for another day. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, great. I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about the original ones.
Yes.
So. All right. My number 3 is another newer film. It's one we've talked about on the podcast before as well. It's from 2008, and it's Pixar's Wally. Which, honestly, I mean, I think we might potentially be in danger of being accused of talking about Pixar too much on the various MacGuffin outlets that we have here, but I mean, so good, right?
It is.
Like,
Yeah, it
how
is.
can you like? And it's a film that like really relishes those things that you can do with sci-fi, like we're in space, you know, like he's going through space, and it's just like it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. That aspect of it, really focusing on the fact that you've got a robot as your main character and taking advantage of what you can do with it, and not just making it about the concept, the high sci-fi concept, just really luxuriating in the what you can do with that genre.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I agree 100%. I think this might be one of those films we're actually going to have to retire from the podcast because it seems like every other week
I don't think I've had it on a list yet.
Spencer's
but
disagreeing with me,
I think I have like a Pixar film on almost like every other list I do. So.
Yeah, that's true. All right. All right, let's move on to my number 2. My number 2 is quite different from Wall-E. It's from 1968. It's directed by Stanley Kubrick, and it is 2001: A Space Odyssey. This film is really fascinating to me just because it's really hard to figure out what the hell's going on during this movie. Have you seen this movie?
I've never seen it.
Wow. Okay. This movie, gosh, it's hard to explain what this movie is about. It starts off. It starts off back before Man with a bunch of apes, right? And then it jumps all the way to like 1999, and then even further beyond that. What I can talk about is that I guess the film has to deal with like evolution and man's place in the world and man's relationship with technology and how technology is
Killer computer or something like
pretty
that.
much taking over. Yes, HAL 9000 is a killer computer. It's just really an interesting movie to dissect and really try to figure out like what's it about and what it's trying to say. I mean, I know Stanley Kubrick is a way better director to just throw a bunch of crap and just say, hey, check this out. It's artistic. You know what I mean? So I really think there's something in there for pretty much anyone to watch.
This is just one of those ones where I know that it's a little ridiculous. I've never seen it, but I just haven't gotten around to watching it. But all right, well, my number 2 is a repeat, and that is Back to the Future.
Yes.
Well, we can also talk about the sequel, which number 3 is a lot of fun, but number 2 is really one that gets really into the sci-fi-ness of what's going on, talking about the different paradoxes or conundrum type things that can come up with time travel.
Yeah.
And the first movie just sets up what they're able to do in the second movie so wonderfully. And pokes fun at sort of like 80s technology, like what the 50s view of the future was going to be and what they thought the future would be like in the 80s.
Yeah.
And, it's fun stuff.
If there's one thing to mention, to add on to the Back to the Future, I would say is Tom Wilson, especially in the second one. I think he's completely awesome as Biff. You know, all these different like variations
really
of him. He's really fun. Great character. Whatever happened to that guy? Actually, I don't know
if I've really seen him on anything much since Freaks and Geeks. But.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Okay, so my number one again is a repeat. It's from 1998, and it is Dark City. I feel Dark City is just. I recently just watched this, and I forgot just how great this movie is. It's just an amalgamation of just everything that came before that was great. I talked earlier about Metropolis. I mean, look at Dark City. Dark City is directly influenced by Metropolis, just by the way the buildings move and the strangers and this guy who's like hunted down for killing someone but doesn't know what's going on. A lot of influence from film noir,
which is another genre that Fritz Lang helped invent.
Yes, M, right? Yep. Yes. Just a great movie, great story. I read in the trivia that the average cut was 3 seconds, so the pace of the film is just completely moving, just completely unfolding. Great performances again all around. Kiefer Sutherland as the mad scientist who talks like this all the time. It's just
which
really,
you
really
would
awesome.
Think would be totally annoying, but it works within this
completely.
Weird mood that they create in the film. So it's like sci-fi noir.
Dark City, I love it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
All right, well, like I said, when we decided to do sci-fi films, there was just no way that this wasn't going to be my number one. 1982, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Like, there's just... I love E.T. There's just, like... I mean, my favorite alien movie for sure. Like,
nice.
I think that movie is genius.
It's a great film by Spielberg. Yeah, I mean, again, not much I can really add. I mean, it talks about like being a kid and being misunderstood by your parents, having getting friends with
loyalty,
like someone you would never expect. It's great.
It's got amazing dialogue. It's very funny and sharp script, and really great performances from all the kids that are in it, which like so often one bad kid performance can just mar a film. But I mean, there's really just nothing I would change about E.T. except changing back the stuff that Steven Spielberg changed.
The added on stuff. The George Lucas stuff he put in.
Walkie-talkies or whatever. No. But like, yeah.
It's a lot of fun. So
best movie ever.
Anyway, that does it for our top 5 films. If you have any top 5 sci-fi films to mention, please let us know. I'm sure there's a ton out there. I'm sure people are like, how come you didn't put Aliens? How come you didn't put Terminator?
There's so many good options.
Yeah, so hit us up, MacGuffinPodcast.com, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.